And to the encore, aka Luka. Luka in LA, getting it done in the fourth quarter. And at the end, we had a surprise appearance while Kawhi Leonard has appeared. He was back. He was not great, but I mean, in the second half, he did look much better than in the first half when he was filling it out. So shout out to Kawhi for being back, for playing through, for playing through whatever he's dealing with still, because probably isn't 100% healthy as most people aren't. But with Kawhi, we know how that has been, and this series continues to be a weird dogfight on both sides, right? The offenses obviously are a run through the stars, which makes sense. On Dallas' side, obviously, while on the Clippers side, you have the attempt at getting everyone involved. But Norman Powell was off today. Russell Westbrook was off today, and it doesn't help that Derek Lively was sensational defensively. Maxi Kleber was sensational defensively in the paint. And overall, the Mavs just locked down the paint, had better contests from the at the 3-point line, and the Clippers couldn't shoot from the 3-point line, even though the Mavericks were packing the paint up. And you gotta hope that Kawhi can knock his down, but a lot of Kawhi's shots were contested, tough shots. You gotta hope James Harden can knock more of his down. I thought he took wide open shots and he made 2 of them, so most of them, not like all 10 of them were wide open, right? But he got great looks and he couldn't make them. Like, I liked James Harden's game. I liked his game overall. I thought he picked his spots well. I thought he was aggressive, properly aggressive for this game. He just couldn't hit his 3-pointers for whatever reason. If it was the legs, right? If he was tired, was it that they were going at him on the other end at all costs in the fourth quarter? It might have been all of that. But the paint defense from the Mavericks was sensational. While Luka and Kyrie did their diligence and did their part right offensively, they kept the Mavericks in this game offensively in a way, even though I could argue that Luka's game was so weird, because I felt like he was simultaneously, I don't know how to pronounce it, but at the same time I felt like he was shooting them out of this game from time to time, because some of the shots he was taking and some of the body language he was doing and some of the things he was out there, trying out there, just felt so out of pocket. But that's how he plays at the end of the day. But today, it was a weirdly unenjoyable Luka Doncic, which to be fair, it can be on some nights. But at the end of the day, when he hits that step back, it's like, oh shit, that it is so pretty, right? So pretty to watch that step back, and he was talking crazy to the crowd. But I thought he played an ugly game, a really ugly game. But to be fair, both teams have good defenses, right? They have good defenders on him, obviously, with whether it is Paul George, Kawhi shading him with 2. They have Zubac in the paint, or Plumlee. And even when they go small, they still can put, they still shade him. They doubled him a lot. But some of the shots he was taking, it was crazy. But at the end of the day, you'd rather go down with Luka taking crazy shots than not, I suppose. And he did pay it off in the fourth quarter, right? But the hero was PJ Washington. I thought before the fourth quarter, I was like, man, PJ Washington might not be ready for that moment, because he had some bad missed layups and he was looking kind of spooked on offense, even though defensively he was once again good. But in that fourth quarter, he hit those 3-pointers, he hit that push floater, had 18 points overall on the night, and was pretty much, not pretty much, he was the X factor of the night. And he made things happen that won the Mavericks the game. He was the one role player that stepped up. The Clippers needed one of their role players to step up, whether it was Russ or Norman Powell. And I thought Russ did bring the right amount of energy and hit a timely 3-pointer, but he was 2 of 9 still. And Norman Powell, they were hoping he would step up. He couldn't get it going. Ivica Zubac couldn't get his paint touches. They forced him into tougher shots in the paint. They, like I said, threw way more bodies at him in the paint, and it made it tougher on him. And maybe they went away from him a lot too quickly. Maybe they got baited into the Luka ball, where I felt like Kawhi, Harden, and Paul George in the fourth quarter kinda wanted to show off that shot creator, right? That pull-up shot creation that Luka does, and the ball dominance and the heliocentricity, or however you want to call it, right? Just the ISOs. Which, to be fair, right, Harden is one of the better ISO players ever, but he's old. Kawhi coming off an injury. Paul George was in good rhythm, but still, maybe they got baited into it by what is in today's day and age two of the best there is ever, and probably the two best shot creators in the league when you think about the shots they take and make in terms of the consistent in terms of consistency when we talk about the shot quality when I want to pronounce it. Like, they take a lot of tough shots and they make a lot of them, right? And with Luka especially, it can be crazy, man, because some of the shots, like I said, like I was shaking my head watching that, and then he makes that step back three, and you're like, shit, what can you say, man? What can you really say about him, I guess? But the Mavs get a huge win, steal home court, go back home with Kawhi now playing, but they suffered the injury to Daniel Gafford, who's been dealing with a back injury, tweaked that ankle in the game one, so they'll need to rely on Lively and Kleber to give them good minutes, right? Kleber paid off with 2 huge 3-pointers. Can Josh Green or Dante Exum give them something? Because Tim Hardaway also got hurt, so can one of those two give them some valuable minutes? Josh Green gave you the rebounding at least, but he couldn't give you anything offensively. Can Dante Exum channel that regular season energy? We'll see, because they'll need at least one of those guards, in my opinion, to step it up a little bit. And they'll need, obviously, Maxi Kleber and Derek Lively to continue playing as well as they have done. PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr., we'll see how they do, but PJ Washington shows you the perfect signs in today's game, right? And we'll see what is the status of Gafford heading into these next games. But a really good win for the Mavs, even though it was ugly. But the defense is looking great. They were just the effort was there. The paint, was packed as they needed it to pack against this Clippers team, and the Clippers couldn't pay it off from the 3-point line at all. They were also rusty because Kawhi's return, right? It made the packing order a little weird. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this series goes, man. This could go 7 with Kawhi playing now, but we'll see, man. Because I think Luka's gonna have one hotter night for sure, at least in this series. Because even though the defense has been good on him, I think some of it is he's truly just taking some dumb shots, and I think he'll realize that when they have they play on Friday probably, so they have 3 days off between those games. I think he's gonna take some better shots at home, and we know how they shot at home when they made the run to conference finals. Those role players and everyone, right? So we'll see what happens with the Mavs and Clippers series. I'm excited. It's an interesting watch. A little frustrating from Luka sometimes can just get overboard with his complaining and with the shots he takes, and with the Clippers, it sometimes just feels like I'm watching people that hate each other play together in a way, or just I don't know. With the Clippers, it's just something off about them. I can't put it in words, man. Honestly, it's just something off about the Clippers. But I'm excited to watch the rest of the series. Tonight we have Miami, Boston, Pelicans, OKC games 2. I fear those might be both blowouts. I hope I'm wrong about the Pelicans game, because the Pelicans, I felt like, just gave the best effort in game 1, right? And I feel like OKC is going to get hot in this game, and they're going to adjust to Valanciunas a little better. They're going to shoot better, in my opinion. Even though New Orleans has the personnel, I just feel like the coaching is great in OKC. And I don't know, I just have a feeling this is going to be a blowout night. So we'll hope I'm wrong. And I'll be here tomorrow to talk about it, as always. Be kind to yourself and others, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.